Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today called NG 英文. My name is John Drummond, or 杨浩恩.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到我们西平方的节目 NG 英文，我是 Angela。We
have a great episode for you today with our good friend Garrett Ball, who's known around the Taiwanese community as 阿球。
是的，今天我们很幸运的邀请到了落脚在外澳海边的美国披萨店老板 Garrett Ball 阿球来到 NG 英文跟大家聊聊保护我们自然环境的重要，他和朋友们的环保行动，以及一路走来学语言的经验分享。
But before we get to the interview with Garrett and I, Angela is going to help us break down some different surf terms and environmental terms, as Garrett is an ocean lover and a protector of the ocean and a big surfer. Yeah. So take it away, Angela, here on NG 英文。
好的，没问题，这样谢谢你的介绍。对啊，因为今天这个来宾阿球他很重视环保这一块，加上呢他又是一个浪人，对海有特别的情感，希望大家可以出一份力，一起维护大自然，一起保护海洋。所以呢，等一下我们除了带大家来复习几个之前介绍过的环保单字以外，也会来认识一些跟冲浪有关的用字哦。请大家赶快把你的 NG cheat sheet， 你的 NG 英文笔记小抄准备好，我们要开始咯。首先这里有几个待会阿球在访谈里会用到的字。 Environmentalism 环境保护主义。好，可以注意到这个字它的字尾是 ism 结尾，那通常有这个结尾的字呢都带有主义、信仰或是学说的意思，所以呢把前面的 environmental 环保的、环境的跟 ism 结合在一起，就变成了 environmentalism。那其他像 racism 种族主义、feminism 女性主义等等也都是这样子的用法哦。再来阿球他也有提到这个 ecosystem 跟 ecobricks， 这两个呢我们要看的是字首，有发现他们都是 eco 开头吗？这个 eco 它有跟环境跟生态相关的意思，所以呢把它跟 system 系统做结合，变成了 ecosystem， 就有了生态系统的意思。那同样道理 brick 它本身有砖头砖块的意思，所以 ecobrick 可想而知就是一种生态砖块。是说这大家乍听之下可能会有点不飒飒，想说这是哪门子的砖块啊？其实呢它是新创造出来的字啦，这点上你大概可能也找不到什么解释，但是不用害怕，因为你只要知道它字首 eco 的意思，就大概可以猜到这在表达什么了。而且等一下在访谈中阿球也会再跟大家说明他们做这些砖块的用途，所以各位等一下可要专心听咯。还有一个是很多喜欢去海边冲浪，那些爱海的浪人常常会号召乡亲父老一起来沙滩捡垃圾，保护海洋的净滩活动。但是这净滩的英文怎么说嘞？很简单，我们可以用 beach cleanup 来表示，要小心哦，这个是长音的 E， 我们要说 beach。 好， beach cleanup。最后既然我们聊到了冲浪，我这个退休的浪人实在也是很想要来跟大家介绍一些相关用字，但是我们时间有限，我话不能太多，所以我们来讲一个我最喜欢的字跟一个冲浪最常听到的术语就好。这个字 gnarly 它听起来有没有一种虽然不知道是什么意思，但是感觉就很厉害的 feel？ 没错，它可以用来表达很猛很厉害，尤其是呢如果你听到一个冲浪的人说Whoa, that's gnarly， 那通常就是在形容一道很大很猛的浪。另外如果你刚好也有去外澳冲过浪，那你一定多少听过教练或是朋友说歪爆，但这是什么意思嘞？是什么东西可以歪爆歪成这样子？它其实呢是英文 wipe out 的音译字。好，就是说如果你冲浪冲到一半从浪板上跌下来，那你就是歪爆了，只是中文比较像是当作动词在用，但英文一般就都是名词的用法哦。这样子大家有比较了解了吗？希望刚才讲的这些对你的英文学习之路有所帮助哦。如果有漏掉没有听到或是写下来的也不用担心，可以上我们的 Spotify 或是 YouTube 频道，随时要听几次就给他听几次，有什么问题也欢迎在底下留言让我们知道哦。那如果大家都准备好了的话，我们就赶快进入今天的访谈内容，听听阿球的分享。
All right. As always, thank you, Miss Angela Ma, for that wonderful NG 英文 breakdown. My guest today is an American who has a restaurant, music bar, surf hostel, and surf school called Drifter's Pizza Pub and California surf. He's an ocean lover, an environmentalist, a musician, a surfer, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome my good friend, Garrett.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
Boom. What's up, bro? Thanks for making the trek all the way from Elon. So, my man, you are one of the first people I ever communicated with in Taiwan. I don't know if you remember me reaching out to you when I used to live in Thailand, and I was asking you a bunch of surf questions, and you were like, who is this dude? And what does it mean to me? But you were one of the first inspirations that I had to actually come check out the surf scene and the culture here in Taiwan.
访谈开始呢，他们提到很久以前 John 还住在泰国的时候，就已经有跟在台湾的阿球联系，问了他一头拉苦有关台湾跟我们这边冲浪文化的相关问题，想要在来之前呢，先多做一些了解。因为说实在的，网络上台湾的旅游或是冲浪相关的资讯都还是相对的比较少哦，所以这样也不是什么怪咖啦，只是一直问人家问题。因为常常很多外国人也都会跟阿球求救，跟他了解旅游跟冲浪的资讯。但阿球说呢，他觉得也可能是因为这边的资料还没有那么丰富，所以到台湾旅游才会这么吸引人，让这么多人都一直问他问题，想要来台湾玩。那这边有2个片语，我们来练习。A bunch of, a bunch of， 还有一群或是很多的意思。像这边 John 说的 a bunch of questions 就是很多问题的意思，或者是一群朋友，你可以说 a bunch of friends, a bunch of friends。 好，另外一个是 lack of 缺乏，像阿球讲的 lack of information 就是资讯不足。好，或者呢，如果你说 lack of sleep，那就是睡眠不足。
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I kind of forgot about that part. I remember when you showed up, that's for sure. We had some pretty good surf trips together, going down south and doing some camping trips. Yeah, I answer a lot of questions from people overseas. There's not a lot of information about Taiwan for travelers and surfers. It's a very intriguing place to people because of the lack of information, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. And so in terms of why I was asking you kind of, about surfing and what to do along the coast, it's because you are running essentially like a surf hostel. Is that right?
前面讲到说，很多人包括我们主持人 John 在内都问过阿球很多有关在台湾旅游、在台湾冲浪的问题。但为什么会找上阿球嘞？为什么要问他啊？原来啊，是因为阿球8年前呢，在宜兰有经营一间 surf hostel， 一间冲浪民宿。好，让客人呢除了可以租浪板去练习冲浪以外，也可以有地方过夜，给体力充电，好好睡一觉。那大家也知道，环保意识抬头，越来越多人重视环保，而且对他们浪人来说，海洋保育更是重要的不得了。所以他们的民宿呢，也常常会举办净滩活动，希望透过这样子的方式去鼓励大家说，我们到海边玩，也不要忘记把带来的塑胶垃圾带走，以免造成对环境的伤害，甚至呢是污染了我们吃下肚的食物。
Yeah, that was my original business 8 years ago when I started. And we did a lot of beach cleanings and kind of trying to drive the awareness about plastics and why it's important to pick it up off the beach and you're getting it out of the ocean where it could remain for forever, thousands of years, and it gets into the food system and all that nasty stuff.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So I want to dive into all of that. So let's kind of start, though, with what you're doing in terms of a restaurant and live music bar out in Wai'ao Beach called Drifters. So can you share about that process? Kind of what is Drifters and what have you turned it into?
在这段访谈中呢，阿球要来跟大家介绍他这间开了5年的餐厅兼酒吧 Drifters。他说在头城外澳一带呢，近年来已经慢慢变成一个冲浪圣地，但是很多人常常都是冲完浪之后就走了，所以灵机一动想说来开一间披萨吧，结合他们乐团的现场音乐表演，让大家可以小酌吃一些披萨填饱肚子，也可以听音乐放松一下，享受海边的生活。阿球说他们营造出这样的气氛真的跟以前在加州的生活很类似，也希望可以借此去推动更多的环保活动。虽然说现在没有像以前一样常举办净滩，但还是会协助其他的净滩团体一起去保护环境，以身作则，尽自己一份环保的责任。
Yeah, we've been open for 5 years, and I had the hostel and the surf school, and it was Tochung and Waiao Beach. It was turning into a pretty cool surf town, but I noticed people just kind of came out, surfed, and went home. So I made a little bar, and we did pizza. Actually, my grandfather in Los Angeles, California, had a pizzeria. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of following in those footsteps. And then I was a drummer when I was a kid, and so naturally wanted to make it a live music bar. It's really fit in pretty well in the surf community. It's kind of the feeling I had in San Diego and California. And yeah, we do lots of beach cleaning events. We used to organize a lot, but now there's so many groups that actually approach us and want some assistance, so we can hook them up with bags, or at least hook them up with the right people in the government to do that. I think it's important, kind of these beach towns, that the surfers need to kind of lead with the culture and lead by example. And also it should be a fun town too, being responsible, cleaning up after yourself, and you get to party afterwards.
Yeah, man, I love that. And, really what I love about what you're doing is you're creating a whole ecosystem around the beach community. Like you said, a lot of people come from maybe Taipei and they go surf and then they go back. And you're creating that ecosystem that's like, hey, come out, let's start the morning with a beach cleanup. Then we can have pizza at Drifters. We can listen to some music, have a few drinks. And then in the evening now, you can stay at your hostel, California Surf. Is that right?
紧接着他们提到了来头城外澳的冲浪客，除了可以在 Drifters 这间漂流者外澳披萨吧听音乐小酌片刻放松以外呢，还可以就直接在正对面的这间冲浪民宿叫做 California Surf 直接过夜休息，整个就很方便。除此之外呢，他也提到说在外澳一带有很多的冲浪店，生意其实都相当竞争，所以呢，希望透过生态环境维护这种正向的目标，让各个冲浪店家对于环保有一致的想法，以大局为重，为整个环境着想，让各个冲浪店家愿意一起合作，为外澳的生态环境尽一份力。这边阿球他用到一个片语，大家赶快趁机给他学起来。他说 realize what's in the bigger picture。 这个 the bigger picture 或是你也可以说 the big picture， 这意思呢就是大局重要的部分。好，不是像它字面上比较大的图这意思哦。所以这边阿球他在表达的就是要了解事情的重点，而不是去琢磨在其他比较离离扣扣的地方。好，那另外一个 John 提到的这个 aggro，这个字呢，它其实表达的就很像 aggressive， 好，带有挑衅或是仇恨的意味在。因为呢，外澳海边的冲浪客人人数也就那么多，但每个店家都在争客人，所以有时候海边那种放松的气氛，反而会因为这种竞争关系也变得紧张。
Yeah, exactly. They're right across the street from each other, actually, right next to the Waiao train station. And it's all, the beach is right there, the bar's right there, and the surf school, so it's all pretty convenient. And but I think what's important with what you mentioned, creating an ecosystem, is not just creating it to be a promotion for one's own business, because I do want to create a broader ecosystem in Waiao where some of the other shops can share the event. We could all put our name on the flyer. Sometimes we could do it in front of my shop, sometimes in front of their shop. It's kind of a way, because businesses can kind of get competitive. And there's a lot of surf shops in Waiao, and it's a good way to get everyone together, common positive goal that we could all share and realize kind of what's important in the bigger picture.
Beautiful, man. I absolutely love that. And I think that's something very selfless of you, because as you touched on, the scene at the beach can get a bit, maybe this is a new word for our listeners, aggro. And, everyone's competing for business. You only have a certain amount of surf tourists that come down and want to learn how to surf and hang out. And, your mindset is, hey, we can all share in this and we all can grow together. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful trait that you possess. And so essentially, if I remember correctly, you kind of do live music every weekend. Is that right? Saturday and Sunday, or only Saturday?
在这段访谈中呢，阿球要来跟大家分享他们披萨吧的现场音乐。 以前呢是每个星期六跟国定假日会有表演，不过今年因为这个疫情的关系，大家都不能出国，所以他们暑假的时候就都每天都有表演，让大家可以好好享受，弥补一下心中那种没有出国玩的缺憾之类的。不过他们有在计划之后，星期天的表演也会慢慢增加。阿球说呢，他们举办的活动非常多元，都会有各种文化风格。有兴趣的听众朋友呢，可以上他们的脸书粉丝专页，了解他们的活动行程表。这边阿球用到的字 multicultural， 它意思是多元文化的。好，它字首 multi multi， 它本身呢是多或是多种，所以结合 cultural 文化的就变成是 multicultural。那其他像是 multilingual 说多种语言的，或是 multimillion 数千万的，也都是同样的用法哦。
Yeah, that's right. Actually, it used to be every Saturday.And holidays, but this year I'm trying to get Sundays going a little more. We did do live music every day over the summer. Nobody could leave Taiwan, so I felt like doing something a little extra special. We had lots of multicultural events, really trying to expand on that music. So yeah, we're going to have live music every Saturday, Sunday, and we post our events on Facebook.Yeah,
man, I love that. And, you're inspiring me. I know how much you're doing, but, I'm thinking about it now a little bit from a business mindset and a kind of bigger than you mindset. And so you're incorporating multicultures, you're doing environmentalism and kind of eco-friendly events. And this really makes me think about what do you want to be focusing on at the end of 2020 and beyond?
接下来阿球要跟大家分享未来的一些计划。他说他们餐厅的经理是希望可以专心去设计一组新的菜单，但是呢，他个人是比较崇尚环保主义啦，想要朝环境保育这方面去发展。像他们在台东呢，就有跟一些朋友在进行一些这个环保计划。好，他这朋友呢，还因为这样子而成立了一间叫做 Thai Wonderful 的公司，把海边那些没有被回收掉的塑胶垃圾收集起来，做成生态砖块，也就是我们前面讲的ecobricks， 然后呢，再用这些生态砖去盖东西，有点像是取代传统砖块那样子，像可能可以用来盖墙壁啦，或是他们披萨吧的舞台，也都是用这些生态砖去盖出来的，等于就是把垃圾回收再利用这样子。也就是说呢，阿球他未来的计划是希望可以把这样子的概念跟他的餐厅民宿做结合，甚至是办一些相关活动，让同样也对环保议题有兴趣的朋友可以来大家互相认识。这边阿球他会用到一个句型，我们来练习一下 have a passion for 什么什么，那意思呢就是对某件事情很有热忱，很热衷于做某件事。像他说 I really have a passion for the environmentalism， 就是说他相当热衷于环境保育。那如果你也是跟他们一样很喜欢冲浪的话，你也可以说 I have a passion for surfing。 赶快来听吧。
Sure, yeah.Well, my manager wants us to focus more on the new menu that we're coming out with at Drifters. But yeah, what really is my inspiration is that I really have a passion for the environmentalism, and I'm working on a new project with some friends down in Taidong. Josh Campbell has made a company called Thai Wonderful, and he's a surfer as well.So what he does is he grinds the plastics down that we get from the beach instead of where unfortunately most plastics do not get recycled. It's just kind of a little bit of a fantasy possibly for a lot of the industry, but it's an unfortunate truth. But these ecobricks that he makes are a good way to kind of capture that plastic, and you're basically depositing it back into the ground, or you can use them as building materials, hence the name ecobricks. And so basically they're taking the place of bricks in small retaining walls, and obviously I don't think you'd build a skyscraper out of them, at least not yet, but it's a pretty good solution, and I'd like to kind of link up both of my businesses and these groups that are doing beach cleanups and kind of be sort of the middleman, where we're not necessarily picking up all the trash and we're not necessarily making all the eco bricks and the science, but linking it all together because there's a lot of people out there that want to help, but they don't have the time or, the resources to do everything themselves, and they could join a fun event, meet new people, listen to music, and learn about some of the things that people are doing in Taiwan right now that is really cool. And so we've built a new stage and a new venue half at Drifters. And so we're going to kind of use some of those ecobricks in the stage and in some of the walls and have a little display explaining like what it is and what we're doing here.
I love that, man. Yeah, ecobricks. Shout out Josh Campbell in Taidong, because I love that, man. And yeah, it is an unfortunate truth. We think everything we send to recycling gets recycled. Unfortunately, it doesn't. It used to be shipped off to other countries. Now other countries are not accepting a lot of recyclables. And essentially now plastic bottles and glass are about the only things that can get broken down. So we need to kind of expand on what we do with recycling. And I love that Tai Wonderful is understanding that and thinking about building materials, and that you're on the kind of the first movers with that. So congratulations, man. So if you don't mind us transitioning a bit into language, I know you're out in Tocheng speaking a lot of Chinese and English with your team, but more importantly, like the government, you're trying to set up all these events and do it legally. And I'm just picturing you, working behind your bar at Drifters, maybe by yourself, and now a bunch of Taiwanese are coming up. So is that where your Chinese really kind of got forced to improve?
接下来我们会聊到像爱这样子一个外国人在台湾经营事业那常常呢又要跟政府申请活动许可，这些有的没的，让他的中文能力在这样子的环境驱使之下，也真的是被迫进步了很多。他说他大学的时候呢，其实就是个很懒的学生，只要像是语言这种不能抄捷径、不能偷懒的课有没有，他就都很懒得去花时间学，不像西班牙文是从小听到大的，所以对他来讲西班牙文没什么问题，没有什么难的。但中文真的就不一样，像有一次在店里面只有他自己一个人在，但因为中文还不太会讲，所以就不小心让自己陷入一个尴尬丢脸的窘境。幸好呢，我们台湾人就是心胸宽大，有没有？才不会去嘲笑人家中文不好。他说其实反而还会是有一些特意跟他说中文的外国人，反而会给他一些这个奇怪的眼神。
Yeah, I would say most definitely. To be honest, I was always a pretty lazy student in university, especially when it came to the things there's no shortcut in studying for, and language is definitely one of those things. It's not Spanish, which I kind of picked up growing up and going down to Mexico, living so close. But as soon as I hit the first winter where it slows down a little bit and I was the only staff working, I got put in some pretty embarrassing situations. I think maybe the funniest looks came from foreigners that were trying to speak Chinese to me. I think Taiwanese are very nice when it comes to accepting our broken Chinese at times, always usually with a smile and a compliment.
So I know you have a ton of staff, that works between Drifters and California Surf, and you also do these outreach programs called Working Holidays with students. So are you thinking a lot of these, future employees and interns are applying because they want to be around foreigners and maybe practice their English?
在这段访谈中呢，我们要来谈谈台湾海边的 Working Holiday。阿球说呢，不少年轻人都会去他们海边，可能民宿啦，或是潜水店做打工度假、打工换宿。那大部分会去申请这种工作的呢，都是未来可能希望去澳洲啦，或者去加拿大打工度假的。但是因为比较没有相关工作经验，又可能比较害羞一点，不敢去说英文，所以很多呢都会来他们这里体验，同时也跟阿球还有其他常去店里面的外国人说英文，增强自己的口说能力。
Yeah, I think that is the main reason they come out. There's a lot of hostels and like dive shops, for example, that do the same thing. I would say most of our applicants, they want to possibly go to Australia or go to Canada, do a working holiday there, but they don't have any job experience, and they're a little timid possibly speaking. Their listening skills are usually pretty good, but I think just being in a bar environment, being at the beach is very relaxed, and they're able to talk to me and talk to some of the regular customers who are foreigners there, and And then, but then they do have their coworkers that they can all, feel comfortable with and have their comrades and kind of laugh about everything that's going on, all these new experiences.
That adds more to kind of that ecosystem that you're creating. And so you're kind of grooming, we would say, that you're grooming this new generation of Taiwanese to understand, foreign culture, but also be curious about their home because we're doing this in Taiwan. So I love that all. So in terms of, kind of what you see with your language development for, Spanish and Mandarin Chinese, but also your coworkers and your employees and your interns with their English, can you give us maybe some tips and advice for future language learners?
紧接着阿球提到说他之前因为不知道会在台湾长久住下来，所以说真的也没有去认真学中文，是一直到后来开店了，发现说不会讲中文对他经济上的影响真的颇大的才开始后悔当初刚来有很多时间的时候没有好好去上课把中文学起来。所以他说如果有打算在某个国家长久待下去的听众朋友，真的要好好把当地语言学起来才是。
Yeah, probably my best advice would be how not to learn it wrong. And like I think I said earlier, I was able to kind of just pick up on Spanish. I think because of the similarities to English and other European languages, it's a lot easier. You can just kind of be around it and pick it up. So maybe I had that expectation when I got here. And also I wasn't really sure I was going to stay in Taiwan forever. So I just kind of never took any classes and just never kind of really learned until, I started doing business. And then I really saw the financial impact of not knowing Chinese. And then kind of wish I had paid for the classes when I had first got here and had a bunch of time. But yeah, I think my first tip of advice would be just take it seriously, get yourself in a classroom and just understand if you're spending money that if you're going to plan to stay here a while, the money's going to come back. It's an investment.
Yeah, man. I love all of this. So unfortunately, that's bringing us to our last question here on NG Ingwen. It's been a pleasure, man, to hear about the ecosystem you're creating and the environmental impact that you want to have. And so the question I love to end with is, if you could go back and talk to a younger Garrett, would there be any advice you give yourself about language or life?
访谈最后，阿球要来跟大家分享他心中想要跟小阿球说的秘密。不是啦，没有秘密，就是一些心里话，一些中心建议。简单扼要一句话 ，Stay in school, kids。意思呢，就是好好上课，好好念书，做好学生的本分就对了。真的是很简洁有力哦，阿球。我们赶过来听访谈最后这段分享吧。
Yeah, stay in school, kids.
Yeah, man. Stay in school, kids. That is the way to be. Man, you just sounded very old saying that. We're dating ourselves with that reference right there. But also learn from experiences like you have. So, man, where can people kind of find drifters and California surf, maybe more information about beach cleanups and all the cool things you guys are doing out in Wai'au?
Yeah, we're pretty active on social media. So you can look us up, Drifters Pizza Pub, Wai'au Beach, and California Surf, Wai'au Beach. I've also got a new website that is kind of a directory and covers those places and some other things, wai'aubeachtaiwan.com. So we're kind of building on that website, and we'll be posting a bit of information. We're a little more active on Facebook and Instagram.
Love it all. Thank you for joining us today on NG Ingwen, Garrett. It's been a pleasure, my man. And I'll see you out in Wai'au real soon, my man. Peace.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG, NG English, ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7 and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
好，那我们今天西平方的节目 NG 英文就到这边告一段落啦。感谢大家的收听，别忘了到 IG 搜寻我们的粉丝专页 NG 底线 English 再底线 ICRT。大家也要记得每周三早上6点半到7点，或是晚上9点到9点半。 把广播调到 ICRT FM 100，准时收听我们节目哦。那也欢迎各位上网搜寻希平方的攻其不备课程，或者呢是到我们希平方的官网多读一些有关 NG 英文的文章，看看有哪些是可以吸收学起来的小撇步哦。我们下周见了，拜拜。